everyone, my name is Angelica, and welcome to another episode of This is BIZ from This is Improv. Today, we're going to be talking about 4 improv tips that are going to help you with your next interview. Now, I know interviews are incredibly stressful. You're walking into a completely new situation to meet someone you've probably never seen before in your life. All the while, things are going on in your head like, do I look okay? Does my breath stink? Do they know how cool I am? Does my dog need a bath? Whatever is going on in your head, it's going to affect your interview, and these tips are going to help you get a little more out of your head and into the situation. And that brings me to tip number 1. Warm up. During an interview, you're going to be a bag full of stress, and the best way to untie the bag and release all that stress is by warming up. What I suggest most of all, if you have the opportunity to, is to get used to your space. So you might not always get an opportunity to do this, but if you can, I recommend walking around or spending time in the space that you're going to conduct this interview. So if this is going to be in a conference room, if you have access to this conference room, go ahead, sit inside, spend some time in the chair and feel comfortable. Look around. What's in the room? Can you focus on anything? And lately, we've been spending a lot of time on Zoom. So if you have an interview on Zoom, then how do you feel on the screen? How does all the technology work? Do you feel comfortable in the space that you're in while you're in that Zoom meeting? So the best way to get through that is calling up a friend. See if they can sit with you through a Zoom meeting and point out what works and what doesn't work in your environment. Another great warm-up would be playing a game like Zip Zap Zop. And if you want to look at that warm-up, we have a great video for you in our archives, so take a look. Improv tip number 2, mirroring. When you're in an interview, chances are you're going to be directly across from the person who's interviewing you. And that gives you the chance to directly mirror what their actions are. So what does mirroring do? How does it help you? Mirroring helps the other person feel like you're listening to them, like you're in the same frame of mind as they are, and that you might be similar to them in personality. And interviewers like to see that because it shows that you are able to listen and focus in on what they're saying. It shows that you might be a good fit mentally on the same page as the company or the person who's conducting the interview. And it shows that you might fit the culture that you're going to be entering into if you have a similar personality as they do. So if an interviewer is, let's say, leaning forward, really focused, you would want to take up that same mannerism, going in a little closer to the interviewer. If the interviewer looks relaxed, they're sitting back, taking in all the information you're giving, you would want to take a more relaxed pose and give that information back. A great way to do this is have a friend help you out. Whether on Zoom or in person, ask them to sit across from you and see how close you can get to their mannerisms without them feeling awkward or really picking up on what you're trying to do. Most often in improv, we use mirroring to get closer to our ensemble, to get into the same frame of mind so that when we're talking on stage and we're really flowing, we're connected and we know where to go next. And that's going to help you in your interview as well. Improv tip number 3, take a suggestion and turn it into a story. In an interview, you're going to be asked a series of questions, and these questions are designed to see how you would react in certain situations and how you fit into the company on a personal level. So when you're answering these questions, it's best to be specific. And what better way to be specific and keep your interviewer entertained than by telling a story? In improv, we're often asked on the spot to come up with fantastic stories or create weird scenes based off of one suggestion, like cat or tree or toothbrush. And while you're in an interview, you might get something that you're totally surprised by. So what I recommend for getting prepared to tell these stories is using an exercise we call I Love. And this exercise is great because it brings out a positive personality trait. You're talking in a positive manner about something they suggest. And it helps you flush out the specifics of a story. If you want to learn how to play the I Love exercise, then go back to one of our previous videos in our archives where we tell you how to play this game. Once you've learned how to play the game, ask a friend to help you again. And throw out suggestions or throw out random scenarios and ask you to give an example of how you would handle it or how you've handled it in the past. Then use the I Love exercise to specifically tell a story and give a positive reaction to it. Give it a nice twist, a little seasoning of positivity. And I assure you, your interviewer will appreciate it. Improv tip number 4. Make a game out of your interview. And this is something that I suggest to all of my students when they're stressing about a new situation. Turn it into a game. When I say turn it into a game, I'm talking about choosing a focus. What is your end goal by the time you finish this interview? And when I tell people to choose a goal or a focus for that game, I most often turn to Richard Branson. Richard Branson is the owner of Virgin or Virgin Corporations. And he talks about in an interview making the interviewer laugh because it shows that you connect. And the number one thing that both you and the interviewer are trying to figure out is this company right for you? And are you right for this company? So making your interviewer laugh is going to show that you have a sense of humor, that you can have fun working, and you're going to be a joy to work with, collaborate with, get things done with. So Richard Branson recommends that you try to make your interviewer laugh. And what I tell people to do is make a game out of it. See how many times you can make your interviewer laugh during your interview. And what I really love about this improv tip is that even if something goes wrong, even if your hair doesn't look exactly right, you're going into an interview, and if you achieve that goal, then that's what you're focusing on. You're not focusing on, did I say this word correctly? You're not focusing on, do I keep a proper posture, or does my resume line up with what they want? You're thinking about something that's achievable in that moment. And that's the most important thing because it's going to make you feel better about what you're doing. And it's going to make you feel like you're more in control of the situation. So that's my biggest tip to you. Make a game of your interview. Trust me, it'll help. I want to say thank you for staying until the end of this video. If you have any more questions about how improv can help you with your next interview, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll make another video helping you with more improv tips for your interview. We can also help you individually with our private coaching, where we help you hands-on get ready for your interview until you're totally prepared to rock it. And while you're here, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so that we can make more videos for you to help you with your goals using improvisation. Until next time, my name is Angelica, and this has been This is Biz with This is Improv. Goodbye.